All right, no time to waste. Hello from Los Angeles. I just landed at LAX. I just made it to my hotel room, and the first thing I did, I haven't even taken off my blazer. I still have my cowboy boots on. First things first, got to make a video because we have big news. Jimmie Ward, K'Wan Williams, Dante Johnson, and Ambry Thomas have all been activated from the COVID list for the 49ers ahead of their huge game against the Los Angeles Rams, which is going to be going on 24 hours from now. So, this is monumental for the 49ers. I don't think they could have won this game had they not gotten Jimmie Ward and K'Wan Williams back. Jimmie Ward especially, but they now will have both of them back. This is a major boost for a defense that's getting healthy at just the right time ahead of the biggest showdown of the year. First of all, Jimmie Ward may be the most important defensive player for the 49ers versus the Rams because he can guard Cooper Kupp. And I know that K'Wan Williams is your designated nickel back, your primary guy at the position, but do not undersell Jimmie Ward's versatility. In fact, over the course of the 49ers' 5-game win streak against the Rams, which stretches all the way back to week 6 of the 2019 season, Jimmie Ward has not allowed the catch to Cooper Kupp, and the Rams have targeted him several times. You remember Robert Saleh getting all pumped up there in week 6 down the stretch as the 49ers completely snuffed LA out? That was Jimmie Ward manning up with tight ends, big slots, whoever you want, and Cooper Kupp, and breaking up Jared Goff's passes, which had no chance to get the Kupp because he was blanketing him. So it's a good matchup for the 49ers to be able to have Ward on Kupp. In fact, Kupp has done next to nothing in 4 of the past 5 games against the 49ers. He did the most damage, his only game over 100 receiving yards in week 10 of this season. 60 of those yards came against K'Wan Williams. 8 catches, 8 targets, about 60, maybe it was 70 yards. It wasn't a lot. But total, it was a decent game for Cooper Kupp, had 122 receiving yards. None of those came against Jimmie Ward, who had 2 picks against Matthew Stafford there in the first quarter, including a pick 6 that got the 49ers going. But it's Ward's versatility to, be able to pick off Stafford on a deep center field ball like the underthrown one to Odell Beckham, and also to be able to jump a shorter route like Stafford threw that screen that got tipped, went into Ward's hands for the pick 6. It's that versatility to play safety all over the field and also step up and man up Cooper Kupp, who's going for the NFL single season receiving record tomorrow. It's that ability as a Swiss Army knife that makes Ward possibly the most important 49ers defender against the Rams, because the Rams love to put Cooper Kupp anywhere. And K'Wan Williams can do the job some of the time, but you need Jimmie Ward to do the job for the rest of the time. And the snaps that Jimmie Ward is going to give the 49ers against Cooper Kupp should not be undervalued. These are going to be important snaps in this game, and I think every snap's going to be important in this game, even when Ward is in deep center field helping against Odell Beckham, as an example, during that first drive in week 10. That was a huge interception that set the tone of this game. So having both Jimmie Ward and K'Wan Williams is a combination that gives the 49ers options. You could mix and match the slot. You could do some stuff with Jimmie Ward. You can let K'Wan Williams handle the rest of the load. The key here, though, is that the 49ers have options to do stuff defensively with their secondary that they would not have had Jimmie Ward and K'Wan Williams stayed on the COVID list. A big question for me now is who starts at cornerback for the 49ers, because Emmanuel Moseley is officially off of injured reserve. We already talked about this in the game preview, so make sure you subscribe, because I went, 40 minutes with the game preview the other day. We went 70 minutes with Jeff Garcia. If you haven't watched the Jeff Garcia video, make sure you do that. That interview was awesome. You should be ready to run through a wall ahead of 49ers-Rams right now if you've watched that Jeff Garcia video. We went an hour and 11 minutes just talking ball, talking 49ers-Rams. It was a whole lot of fun. But one of the things that we discussed was that Emmanuel Moseley is going to be back. I think Emmanuel Moseley is a surefire starter for the 49ers at cornerback. But what do you do at the other spot? Do you go Josh Norman, who has started previously for the 49ers but was benched against the Houston Texans? Do you go Ambry Thomas, who came off the COVID list yesterday on Friday? Or do you go Dante Johnson? And that's probably not a realistic option, but Dante Johnson is also now off the COVID list. I think that it's either Norman or Ambry Thomas, who's been improving week to week, made his nicest, most aggressive play at the NFL level against the Texans when he almost had the pick 6 jumping the out pattern. Josh Norman, remember, leads the NFL with 6 or 7 forced fumbles on the season, and he's a veteran. So maybe he gets the nod, even though he was benched for the pass interference penalty. But whoever gets the nod at the cornerback spot opposite Emmanuel Moseley is going to have a short leash. The 49ers have capable bodies. None of them are great. They're capable of making it work with a good pass rush, and they're certainly not going to let one guy sit in there and just get roasted all day long by pass interference penalties, because the 49ers already are on record pace in that regard. So expect the other starter to have the short leash. And remember, the fact that the 49ers have all of these guys back except for Deommodore Lenoir is huge, because it gives them options in the secondary. Okay, next point here. 49ers are a rush over coverage team, but they need both. I wrote an article about the 49ers defensive line this week. We could even click on the link if I could find it here. I have this is my game preview right now, so make sure to check that out on The Athletic. Man, this is going to be tough to find because it's so long. So make sure you subscribe, read all of it. It's so key that the 49ers root their defense in a strong pass rush, because that's how they're built. So that's what the 49ers need in this game, and I give up. I'm not going to even look for that right now. But the point is, the 49ers are rushing the passer more efficiently than they have all season long. Over the past 4 games, they're getting contributions not only from Nick Bosa, but especially from Arden Key, Jordan Willis, Sansom Ebukam. Charles Omenihu is getting pressure on the quarterback. This is a balanced 49ers effort up front, and it is rooted in that. This is the final boss. If you're playing the video game as the 49ers, you've made it through all the way to week 18. You're still alive, but you need to beat the final boss. And that is the Los Angeles Rams offensive line, ranked number 1 in the NFL in pass block win rate. So I don't care what the 49ers have done over the past 4 weeks. Yes, it's been a balanced pass rush, but now it's got to happen against the Rams to support that secondary, which is now also off the COVID list. Other 49ers activations. Because Deommodore Lenoir is not off the COVID list, Darqueze Dennard, who they just picked up, a cornerback formerly of Michigan State. He played 5 years for the Bengals. He has been called up from the practice squad to be the 49ers' emergency defensive back in this game. Mark Nizacha up for a second straight game. He's a linebacker from special teams. And Curtis Robinson, who is another linebacker, a Stanford product, will also be up for special teams. On that note, we can update the depth chart together. So this will be fun. Why don't we put all the activations that just came up from the COVID list on there. So first, Jimmie Ward. Jimmie Ward is going to be at the free safety position. So we'll put him in right there. Jimmie Ward. Hopefully you could zoom in and see that. In fact, I could even make it bigger for you. There you go. Jimmie Ward is in. That's 49 out of 53 players or spots on the 53-man roster. K'Wan Williams, we could pencil into nickelback. Dante Johnson, we could pencil in as the backup nickelback. So that is 51 players now out of 53. I have Josh Norman starting, but this is interchangeable. We'll find out during warmups. I have Ambry Thomas right behind him. Emmanuel Moseley I already have in there. He was activated from injured reserve. The 49ers now, they activated Darqueze Dennard from the practice squad. So we put practice squad activations in yellow. So we could paint it yellow here. A little highlight there. And Mark Nizacha is also coming up for this game. So is Curtis Robinson. So you have a look now at the 49ers roster. Oops, I didn't highlight that one in the right color. You got to get it in the right yellow. You have now an overarching look at the 49ers roster for tomorrow's game. Now, the defense still has some questions. Dre Greenlaw and Azeez Al-Shire, for example, are questionable. So we'll see what happens during warmups tomorrow. That's another reason why the 49ers have brought up both linebackers in case either of those two guys or both of those two guys aren't ready. You have some depth behind Fred Warner and Marcel Harris and Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles. But mainly for special teams, you got to be good in special teams in this game. You have Nizacha with 2 tackles off the street last week, and Robinson, who's been good for the 49ers coming up. Dennard is the cornerback, defensive back rooms, extra guy, but that's looking a lot better now. And here you have the rest of the team with Jimmy Garoppolo expected to start. But again, I think both quarterbacks are going to have to contribute in this game, given the tenuous situation surrounding Jimmy Garoppolo's thumb and given the fact that Trey Lance can give the 49ers something in this must-win game. All right, guys, good stuff. The 49ers got good news today. I'm going to have a separate video here in a second about the 49ers quarterback situation. So make sure you subscribe. But the 49ers are now locked and loaded for this must-win game against the Rams in Week 18, which will be happening about 24 hours from now. So subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, 49ers quarterback video. I promise to take you all the way through to kickoff with some of this analysis. All right, everybody, take care. Talk to you in just a minute.